seekers and sojourners of truth, the 144, chosen of the chosen few. You all know who you are. I greet you in the love that lights the truth from my heart to yours. I am Celestial Earth and its divine energy, essence of it all, reporting to you live from nowhere other than dimension number 5. Peace, greetings, bringing you nothing but good tides, good wishes in all that we're feeling right now as the solar flares are flaring, as the timelines are shifting, as the world turns on its axis, right? A lot is happening. As usual, I bring you the news to infuse. If you so choose to infuse with that light, we all have choice. So remember, you can always refuse and be prepared to be fried on the grid. Eh, eh, eh. If I could make a sound like I'm still getting over my own body calibrations for all of you who are feeling it out there. I've been speaking about it. Still having technical difficulties. I'm still trying to upload the same video since Monday, I believe. Was it Monday? The 23rd, 24th, the 24th, since Miracle Day. Right? And I really wanted to get that message out. I spoke a little bit about it in the other video. It was just to kind of cover what was happening with the conjunction, the Sun and Jupiter conjunction. That was that day. You know, clearly there are attempts to block and stop the light. But we have to keep spreading the light energy and information. And that's what's happening. We are elevating and evolving to our next crystalline bodies, at a very molecular level, cellular level. We're all being shifted, um, emotionally, mentally, physically, and of course spiritually. Like, these are the times, these last 6 months of this year, like, we're definitely going to be feeling this shift. So kicking into gear, like, that's what a lot of us are really feeling right now. Like, this is that next gear that I've been speaking about. The next, I call it the second phase of going deeper into 5D. So welcome to 5D. If this is your first time experiencing what 5D is, maybe you've been hearing it, and now you're like, what is this? If you're walking into something right now where as you move around, you realize the whole world is outside of you. Literally, you feel like you're having an outer body experience with the rest of the world, then that may very well be what 5D feels like. A lot of times, I must say, it does feel like that. You're looking around you, you're seeing the whole world still doing backflips on the same crazy stuff, yet you're being called crazy, and it's okay, and you're okay with it. That's the next part. When you're really in 5D and you know that you are in the age of the knowing, you have looked around and you are like, this is that age that everybody was talking about. You're understanding what the age of the knowing is now, which is not just about getting information. The age of the knowing, Aquarian age, is not just about getting information or giving information. It's what we do with the information. It's how we're processing information. It's now we're shifting gears in our life, world, and affairs according to the knowledge of this information. And we're not allowing ourselves to be, what's the word, hoodwinked, or what's the word, when they play with your mind, your third eye. We're not allowing anyone to play with our intuition and our third eye. We're decalcifying. Our bodies are changing. Your food intake is changing. You're recognizing that the sun is not just something in the sky that gives you light so that you can see where you go, so that you don't, bump your toe. That's not light. That's not the sun. We're realizing, those of you who are in this fifth dimension, you're now realizing that the sun is edible. Edible. Like, how many know that you are appropriating the sun? You're understanding now that you're not just an animal cell, right? Because they teach you in science, you're either a plant cell or an animal cell. And they failed to realize, they have failed to teach us, as they were teaching us this, that we're both. We are both. How dare us not acknowledge that we're also plant life? Yet we come from plant life. If you understand the evolution of this planet and the evolutionary stages, we come out of 2D consciousness. And everything plant life is 2D consciousness. The earth in and of itself is 2D consciousness. We're talking minerals, rocks, soil, all of this in the everything is out of 2D consciousness before it became third dimensional. And now we're evolving to the fourth and fifth dimensions of time, in time, space, reality. So we are accessing our new timelines. And it's understanding as you step into the fifth dimension, you're understanding, overstanding, and understanding that the sun is just not here to give you light. It's information. And you're understanding that you're getting information from the galactic center, from far beyond. You're understanding yourself as a multidimensional soul, a multidimensional being who is here to have a soul unfolding journey to unfold again and again. And it is part of your soul's evolution and ascension in time. And we're here to beat the closure that they are trying to uh, put, those opposition energies, those parasitic energies that a lot of us are sensing right now, because desperate energies are doing desperate things to keep the time. They want to keep things held bound and not realizing, or they do realize. I'm not even going to say they don't realize. They know that their time is up. And this is why it is showing up in such ways, desperation that we're seeing. And a lot of us are recognizing how many in our families, our close proximity, friends and families are actually snatched. And that's the video I really wanted to do. And because I'm having such a hard time loading the videos, that is actually one that I really want to take time and talk about, is the snatched souls. A lot of us are realizing how snatched people really are. I've been looking at it differently for the past couple of weeks, and I'm not saying this to create more separation. I'm asking us also to not give into the illusion of separation, but to recognize what is not of truth, what is choosing not to be of one mind consciousness and not of truth. It is for awareness purposes. So when we recognize these differences, right? Because some may say, oh, well, we talk about no duality, but then we talk about, the others out there, and that's because they believe in a duality, and we have to admit the truth when we see it, and that they choose to exist in this illusion of separation within time, and recognize the contrast that it is giving into the consciousness of the one mind. And when we recognize it, we hold ourselves accountable and responsible for these energies and these frequencies. So we see what is happening and what is unfolding. And a lot are snatched, a lot of souls. And when I say that, because we're in this egoic system, and those are the collapsing timelines, everything that is ego, everything that is misappropriated ego within your consciousness, as well as misappropriated ego in the collective consciousness. Those veils are very thin, those shades, those blinds, whatever you want to call them, the curtains are down, they're coming down, and they have fallen. And it is time for us to see things as they are in reality, so we can bring more of the fifth dimension, more of the Aquarian age of truth into being, and living in that truth by not soliciting, not becoming a part of the solicitations or soliciting the inauthentic energies and frequencies. And what we're seeing is amongst a lot of our loved ones, and I dare I say it, even spiritual people, this is a time where we have to realize that even within spiritual people, that to the ones that are not stepping into their true diligence, they're not doing their true soul work, that even they are snatched. And what do I mean by snatch? They're snatched by the egoic persistence of these energies, the chaotic energies that want to continue to hide and disguise itself under the lies. And you may even notice you when you have been attempting to help those loved ones, help those even in the spiritual communities where you're looking around and you're going, well, what is it? They themselves are not aware of their level and their capacity that they're at, because they have fooled themselves and they have been fooled by the parasitic energy within them. And that's just what it is. When you don't do your true diligence, when you don't do your true soul work and shadow work to remove these unhealed wounds in the shadows of your souls, then you become a double agent for these energies under the disguise of spiritual philosophies and things like that. We are at this point. Those of you who are at this very pivotal point, you're realizing that not even those with spiritual philosophies can keep your attention. You're being able to see right through them. And that's because they have been snatched. And when I say snatched, it means whatever they have come here to do, they have fallen into the sea of forgetfulness. Remember, the number one sin, the number one cause of all sin is forgetfulness. That's it. It's as simple as that. That's why we're here, to be a part of the remembering. Your job is to constantly remember, to expose part of the remembering, right? And it may sound corny, or some people are like, all I gotta do is remember. It's not memory how you think about it, but yet memories have a part of it too, because memories are the keys in your soul. It is the keys within your subconscious mind. It is housed in your subconscious. All memories, your ancient ancestry, your bloodline, all memories from past lives, not just this life. All memory keys are in your subconscious mind, and that's why it's important to do the work, to do the shadow work, because when you do shadow work, you help to unlock the keys in your subconscious. You help to unlock another door and another doorway in your subconscious mind. This is why shadow work is extremely important, because a lot of our distractions and the forgetfulness is in us living in the shadows, in the darkness, and not seeing the truth of why we're here, and not seeing the truth of our lessons, the blessings in our lessons. Because the moment you unwrap, the moment you admit to yourself and you face these fears and you unpack the junk in your trunk of your soul, then memory keys are given to you. You open certain encryptions in your DNA. So many codes are in your DNA. That is why DNA activation is extremely important. So many light codes that are streaming through right now from these solar flares, right? That are coming through into the earth in heavy mode. And a lot of it is coming through our mental capacity, our emotional capacity, our spiritual capacity into the physical. And a lot of it is coming through as much as it can. But if you have any resistance, and if there's any unhealed wounds in you, if there's anything that is not looked after, there's nothing hid from the heat thereof. So there's nothing we can hide from ourselves. And no one knows it all. So the important steps to take, see the wind, is to listen to the wind within. Listen to the wisdom in the wind and the ancestors and the elders in your soul. This is not the time to cover up what you feel like you need to protect in this lifetime. And this is where a lot of people are falling victim, or falling into their collapsing timelines, because they are protecting fears. They're protecting things that they don't want to feel in this realm. And it's for us to recognize that it is something for us to reveal to ourselves. There is an exposure that needs to happen. If you want to fight the demonic entities and the parasitic energies, I'm telling you, all you have to do is expose. They don't like to be seen. And I'm speaking even the demonic energies within you, the things within you that you are not aware of. It doesn't like to be seen. So you'll find that you stir up some things even within yourself, things that will make you feel uncomfortable. But this is a time for us to be very uncomfortable and realize where you may be a snatched soul. Because the deeper you dig yourself, and I'm seeing this far too much, especially with spiritual people who assume that they know what they're talking about and they think that you can't see them in their folly. And their egos have them so bound because they're so protected by their egos. They've been doing it for so long. Those are the ones who are snatched, and they don't realize they've come here and they've chosen to take a path that will help unlock certain things, but because they are so deeply devolved in the devolution of their soul, and they're only bent on protecting whatever they see that they need to protect, whether it's money, whether it's friendship, whether it's a relationship, whether it's status, it's being on top. A lot of people are not recognizing what's really in their solar plexus, the identities that they have been holding themselves captive to. And as I said, that the winds just picked up. The ancestors know. There are so many lost souls. I found myself in meditation today, like kind of in tears almost. I can feel the sadness of the lost souls that are just roaming around, roaming around. And they know that they're losing. They know that they are in a losing battle. Speak with. They know, yet they can't see themselves out because they're snatched. And they're snatched, their souls are snatched because they have been. Hi, C. Marie. Peace, love, and light. And anyone else who is here with her. Love and light and so much delight in your soul. There's so much to unfold and unpack, and we have to be in our wisdom and recognize and realize that even when our loved ones around us are snatched, you can love them, but recognize those souls that are snatched by their egoic storylines. Whatever it is that they are in fear of and in a mind state of lack and limitation, and they're blocking themselves from receiving the fullness of these light codes. And they'll have their stories packed, so there's nothing that you can tell them. Some of us have been given messages to go to them, but when you do, you find yourselves in a major block because they're blocked, because they're snatched, and they don't realize it, and they will do it with a disguise of lies, right? See, the wind is blowing even harder. They will do it with a disguise of lies and hate you with a perfect hate. And it's nothing personal against you, it's them. It's because they're that snatched, and we have to recognize that. And I'm saying that so that you realize that there's nothing you can do, and they made their choice in this lifetime. As these veils are thinning, as the timelines are collapsing, and we're literally shifting into the next timeline, everybody can't go. This is why they say everybody can't go. Everybody can't go because everybody chooses not to know. In the age of the knowing, they're choosing to hold on to their wounds and their egoic mentalities and their limited thoughts and beliefs that won't allow them to reach for the star seeds that they are. And yes, this is the end times for a lot of them. Souls, there are some people that are not recognizing that as all of this is happening and the earth shifts into the 5th dimension, a lot of souls will not be able to return to this planet if they have not evolved to being at least a 4th dimensional soul. If they haven't done what they came here to do because they've been so snatched. Look at snatched souls as very, very distracted souls. They're heavily distracted, and they're lost in the sea of forgetfulness. because they chose not to be a part of the remembering in any way, shape, or form. They chose not to allow the reflections of life to be an introspection of their soul, to know where to unfold. They've chosen that. Everything is choice. And so, if we don't take these opportunities to take these light codes now, here and now, in these now moments, as the shift is happening, they will be closed out. And I'm hearing it from souls that want to return. Loved ones who've actually transitioned have come back and have confirmed with me that yes, this is what's happening. You have some that they're choosing to loop out during the purge right now so they can come back as soon as possible. And the help that they need in their bloodlines, they're not getting. So a lot of us who do know, we have to send out that light and energy for those souls to help guide them back, help them get, for those who are doing their best to come back and upgrade their soul, to send that light that surrounds them and help align with them as much as possible. Because a lot are not recognizing that. And if once they leave this earth plane and they don't get back in a certain time, they won't be able to come back and ascend at this planet, in this planet. They will have to go to another inhabited world. But that time will be up for them here. And these desperate energies know that. That's why they're doing things like trying to transfer consciousness into computers, into AI, and what they call it, transhumanism 2.0 and things like that. These are the things that are happening because they're aware. Those entities know that it's going to be a block for a lot of those souls. And a lot of those souls that they have snatched, those snatched souls, they don't care about them. But these souls don't know that. All they do is use them up to their empty, dry, and that's it. And if they can't come back, that's on them. They're just going to continue to devolve and utilize what they can use, which is the AI and the things like that. And I'm not saying all AI is wrong, but best believe they are going to use these new forms of technology. Uranus is about to shift gears into Gemini, Gemini being the house of information and technology and media and all of that. It's going to utilize that in these changes. So we have to be aware of all that is ahead of us. We have to be aware of what's coming and to know the difference, because they are going to use, those desperate energies are going to use the changing times. It's going to use Uranus's radical change. And Uranus is also technology. The EMs, electromagnetic frequencies, are going to be taken to a whole nother level once Uranus shifts into Gemini for the next couple of years. Right? So there's a lot that we're on the brink of right now. Greatness is what we're on the brink of. That just came to me. I wish that I could have this moment for life. This is a moment for life to have. And a lot of us need to be aware of the seriousness of it on multiple levels. Recognize those who are snatched and know that there's nothing you can do to snatch them back. Only they can snatch themselves out of it. And we just have to leave them where they are, the snatched souls that they are, that they choose to be. Because they're intimately, very intensely and intimately embedded with their narrative, with their egoic narrative that has got them so deep in the sea of forgetfulness that they cannot find their way out. It is a labyrinth that only they can work through, the labyrinth of their souls. And a lot of us are doing what we can as we're coming through the labyrinth, in the center of it all. So find yourself, find your strength, and find yourself in love, in the love frequency. This is what we have time for. And know the contrast that is around us. Right? So look at the cosmos, the things that we want to do when you're saying like, well, what can I do? Love yourself, put yourself first, set your boundaries. right? Right now, this whole week, I've been putting myself first. Everything that once mattered, where, you know, I had someone write me today, things about the 3D world, I'm just not there. And I'm not there, and I do not care, and nor am I going to make myself care in that sense, right? I care in the sense that I love everyone to be who they are. I love this experience that we're having, good, bad, and the ugly. But I am not here for the shadows of the 3D world and anyone who chooses to try to circulate me or circumvent the circumstances of those shadows. And there were things that I left on the table that I just have to walk away from, right? And some people don't know that they doomed themselves, because the last opportunity that you were given amongst myself or people like myself, we have to look at that. We owe nothing to no one. Release yourself from all obligations. Nothing to no one. So even if someone comes back to you, there were some things I had to put on pause and say, hey, after these frequencies, I'll get back to you. And now it's like, and they've done themselves out. And there's no amount of guilt trip that anyone can put on me either. So even when they come to and say, hey, I no longer want to do this. Okay, truth be told, you kicked yourself out of it already. Truth be told, I was allotted space. You were allotted time and space with me. And those of us who recognize that have to release that, release them to their now. You didn't do anything wrong. The energy is not going to let you move without grace, space, true time, authenticity. They were granted space and opportunity with you, and they forfeit that by not stepping into the truth of their being, by not stepping into the fullness of authenticity, because they came into your life, world, and affairs and wanted to streamline you back into the shadows of the 3D. And that's just not going to happen. So release them all to their now. Even if it's a project, free your mind. See, the wind is saying, hey, free your mind. You owe no one anything. Let it go and say, you know, peace be unto you. That's fine. That's okay. You no longer want to do something with me. That's fine. I was only doing what the divine was showing me to do. It was never really about you. Yet it was. The part that was about you, you chose not to remember because you're snatched. And you choose to stay embedded in a shadow timeline of your soul. So that is your choice to make. Right? And a lot of us, as we are evolving, have to just release that old timeline and let go anything that does not align. Even if it was a, what would you call it, like an assignment, a 3D assignment. It's like, oh, but I had this to do, and now you may feel like you're irresponsible. No, they were irresponsible to not step into the truth of what was being granted to them with you and through you. That's their irresponsibility. You are now being responsible with divine truth. You are being responsible with what the divine is guiding you into and through. So you have no responsibility in their 3D realm. That's on them, and whatever mess that's left behind, don't let them guilt trip you with that either. That's for them to clean up. Now they got to clean that up or go find somebody else to play with, because these are some serious times. And if they're not going to take it seriously, that's on them. Now it is time for you, 144, chosen of the chosen few, to step into your next timeline. It's time to take flight. And there is no looking behind. This is like Lot's wife. There is no looking behind, because if you do, you will become crystallized to those shadows in the darkness. So look back, lest you fall into the sea of forgetfulness and frozen in time. We are time pushers and timekeepers, and we're pushing the timelines into a next timeline. And it's for the good and the collective of all, even though they don't see it yet. That's not our choice to solicit truth to them. Truth needs no solicitation, no defending, any of that. We are simply walking in our true timeline. We are simply shaking those shadows. So this time that we took to go within was to deal with removing any more little debris and shadows within our own soul so that we can be more freed, more liberated, and more a part of the remembering collectively to continue to activate this great awakening collectively and get these light codes. Ashe? So let all of that stream in your way. It's streaming. The light codes are streaming and they're beaming. Let it beam on you. Let them figure out and find their way. If they can wrestle themselves out of being snatched. Because they have a lot of cleaning up to do. When they're snatched, they're that deeply entrenched and they're that deeply in a devolution of their soul. Who can know it? Only them. And I'm talking about everyone. I'm not just talking outside of you, outside of your home. Remember, Jupiter is in Cancer, so things are very much close to home right now. You're seeing it right next to you. Some of you are even feeling like you're sleeping with the enemy, and that's because you are, right? Not to literally call your loved one the enemy, but the enemy is operating through them at varying degrees because of the heals that the unhealed wounds that they choose not to deal with, and the levels that they choose to stop, and wherever they choose to stop at, that's their capacity. But know where you stand with it, and know that yes, sometimes you will be under attack because of where they are, and it will utilize your loved ones, your children, your spouse, your parents. Everything that you thought you knew is no more. Be prepared to know something new and true about your entire existence and about those who are around you. But find the harmony and the balance. This is not cause for alarm. I'm not saying this to bring hatred or anything like that. It's not for you to hate them, but it is for you to recognize who they really are when they're operating in their lower selves, in their snatched selves. It's for you to recognize that. And if it's your children, it's for you to continue to guide them. It's for you to recognize it so you can stop it. Nothing is as simple as you see it. Everything is up for grabs and everything is up for change. We are the ones that are here to guide, especially our children. They've chosen to come through you as a portal for a reason. Do not leave them behind. Guide them in every chance that you get. If you see something, call it out. Expose that demonic energy that wants to utilize their unhealed wounds at every corner. Every time you see them get their feelings hurt, run to them like they just got a big boo-boo. Run to them and help them understand this hurt immediately, expeditiously. Expedite their feelings, help them to expedite their feelings, the processing of feelings. Teach them how to process it so that they are not used as an operating tool, as an agent, so that they too do not become a part of the fallen and the snatch. We have a lot of lost souls and a lot of snatched souls out there. The youth, the music, a lot of things are done through music, and we have to guard our children, help them posture their hearts, and point them to music. Don't just take them from music. Point them to good, true music. We got a lot of good, true rappers out there that are really, honestly, in the trenches of truth. Point them to those rappers. If you have children that are into music, help them to come out of those snatched areas. Help them to come out of those bowels. Because believe me, they are using the music and the patterns are in the music. Get them off of mainstream social media as much as you can and get them to connect with true music. Let them listen to it. Let them feel it. It does not have to be, get them away from those those beats, those binary, those beats that are those hertz and those frequencies that are hurtful to their sound vibrations, to helping them to transcend. There's music that can set them free, and there's music that can keep them in bondage. We have to help guide them into that, and guide yourselves as well. Be mindful of what you listen to, because they're that desperate. They're using the airwaves. You see the wind that's going, they're using the airwaves. Ashe? So I'm gonna leave that there. I'm gonna do as much as I can with the technology. So excuse me when you do get the message. It was a video that was done on the 24th, but when you get it, you'll get it. Um, and there was one that I did about the frequencies in our bodies and what's happening with the summer solstice, the solar flares, and all that was coming through, and how a lot of us may have not been feeling well, and how that is it's calibrating, helping us to calibrate our frequencies to a molecular level. So I'm going to do my best to get those out. Thank you again for those who came through. Anything else, I'll return as usual. Remember to love yourself. Remember to free yourself, right, from the bowels of all of that, those misappropriations. Get into your soul codes, right? With that said, calendars are out. Yes, there we go. Calendars are out. If you are interested in your calendar, if you have donated and you want to send me a reminder, please do let me know. You can get the calendars at a 5D corner near you, which will be my email at this point, akilatextri@gmail.com, AKILAHTEXTRI@gmail.com. Go ahead, Win. Look at the wisdom. It feels so nice out here, too. It's probably going to pour down raining at some point. Um, so, yes, for the 5D calendars, they are here. They are here. Remember, our year just began in spring. So you've only missed about 3 months. So we finally got it out for the summer solstice. And has all the portals in there that you need to know. There's more that you can always find. And that's the key. I like it to help be an engagement, to help get you off the old timeline. That's mainly what this 5D calendar is about, to help us align back with the origins of time. It's helping us to return to Kemet, a shift in time, where a lot of the information that I get is through the Kemetic downloads and my ancient ancestors that is in my bloodline. That's my ancient ancestry. So that's what I'm able to get this information for and through. So for those of you who enjoyed the first one, I'm glad you did. And the second one is here, and we're just going to keep going from here on out. It's only going to get better and better. All right, so with that said, I invite you to get your calendar at a corner near you. Also, remember to like, subscribe, share, comment if you dare. Hit the notification button, all of that, so that we can continue to spread this light, energy, and information, and be the lighthouse that is able to shine the light for the next one, and get those who are in remote places on the light grid that are wanting to find their soul tribes, that are wanting to amplify their light and step into their 144 frequency. Remember, it's not a number, it's a frequency. The 144 ascendance, and we are being seated in that frequency right now. Ashe. So with that said, love you all. Each one reach one, teach one. If you don't know where to start in your big beautiful heart. Shine your light from the inside out. And as always, be that candle that lights the next one and the next one and the next one, and be the lighthouse that opens the ways to the light colonies, that continues to open the fifth dimension of time. Ashe. Peace, love, and light. Ashe, Ashe. Thank you for coming through.